When the lights come on, she's ready to rise. Donnelly steps up with faith in her eyes. Puzzle pieces fitting, stars up in the sky. With every prayer and song, she'll make your spirit fly.
She's got the voice that can heal the soul. Singing, gaming, she's on a roll. Star Wars battles to her prayerful light. Donnelly's shining through the night. Shine on, Donnelly's, you light up the way. Singing, praying, bringing hope today.
From puzzles to the force, you're always on Donnelly's.
You're our shining song. In the game or the prayer, she's standing tall. With every step, she answers the call. Blessings in her heart, light in her soul. With Donnelly's, we're ready to roll.
Raise your hands, feel the groove. With her faith and her love, you can't lose.
From the galaxy far to the prayers so deep, Donnelly's is the joy we keep.
Shine on, Donnelly's, you're the light we need.
With every song and every prayer you lead.
From puzzles to the force, you're always on Donnelly's. You're our shining song. Shine on Donnelly's. Shine on.
Good morning, and happy Saturday! Ooh, Amethyst is resting for now and then hanging out with the bestie later to celebrate passing her classes. Yes! Soul, we need to do that at the end of this semester. We need to do something to celebrate passing our classes. I think that would be fantastic. Which classes is your friend taking? And let's see. Oh, I've really enjoyed, Amethyst, reading what you've had to say in our John study. I have really enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to what you have to say on today's reading. You're doing a great job. Keep trying to keep up. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And then let's see, we had Starlina with first and Soul with second. Yes! You're doing okay, Soul. Your insomnia hasn't been as bad lately, so you're not too tired right now. And yes, we definitely should. I agree. Yes! You're doing great. You get such good insight. You've really learned a lot, I think, in this. And I'm excited for you, because you've been pointing out some stuff that I may or may not have noticed. And so it's one of those things where we're learning from each other, and I love it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And then let's see. So today we have more Color X Malice to do. And then, let's see, if we finish Enomoto's route, Soul, who is the next one that we want to start? And I do have an announcement that I will need to take next Friday and Saturday off because my mom and I are participating in a local festival, and we are going to be setting up for that Friday morning. So if I have time after, and I'm not too tired after, I might try and squeeze a stream in. But Saturday is a definite cannot make it, because that is the actual day of the festival. And then I have a church event that I'm going to, and a bunch of other stuff. So unfortunately, next week is a little bit up in the air as far as Friday. But the good news is, I have decided to extend Spooktober by 1 week in November. So, what we're gonna do is, rather than ending it the weekend of Halloween, we will end Spooktober November 8th. So that way I get that full Spooktober fall vibes for a whole month. So hopefully that's okay with you guys. GD&T is a lot. Electromechanical design has its fair share of challenges too, but you built your first functional circuit board! Soul, I am so proud of you! Fantastic! Ooh, I don't remember if you had said that, but you are totally fine, Starlina. I love it. I love that your Fall Fest was so successful. Yay! Oh, you guys. So, how many of you have seen Blue Bloods? If you've seen Blue Bloods, you need to check out the new show, Boston Blue, I think is what it's called. Is it Boston Blue? Hold on, I'm looking it up. Yeah, Boston Blue. Because it is a spin-off of Blue Bloods. And Mom and I watched the premiere of it last night, and it was amazing! And I'm somebody who only really knows the basics of Blue Bloods. Like, I know who a majority of the main cast is, and if you were to tell me, oh yeah, that's Danny, that's Sean, that's Aaron, etc., I'd be like, oh yeah, I know who they are. That's the person who does XYZ. I may not have seen every single episode, and so some of the Easter eggs I may have missed, but I know enough about Blue Bloods that all of the major Easter eggs in Boston Blue last night, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad they did this! And Mom and I officially have another show that we can watch. Okay, so then I'm gonna go ahead and pin this manually until the end of stream, so that way I remember which order. And then I am also going to make a note of that. So we finished, or we'll hopefully finish up Enomoto. So after Enomoto, it's Sasuzuka, Okazaki, Shiraishi, and Yanagi. There we go! Alright! You were going to stay at your booth the entire time, but the organizer was adamant about you enjoying the event. Hope the event you and Mama Elise are going to will be a great one. It will be! It will be. It's one that... It's a festival that celebrates part of our heritage. And so we get to have a booth there for the first time. We've got all the stuff that we need, and I will definitely take pictures, because we're going to be wearing traditional wear of that particular culture. And so it's going to be so much fun! It's going to be a ton of fun. And it'll be good to see if we have any fellow people, because the part of the culture that we're descended from is a little bit smaller. And so we're gonna see just how many people may be descended from the same group that we did. And so it'll be fun. And then you designed it, milled it, etched it, put the LEDs in, soldered it, and it lights up. Yes! Dude, Soul, I need to come over at some point and I need to see this. Are you planning on going to J&K's party by chance? I hope so. You just forgot to put your name on it. I suppose something had to go wrong. Well, you know, there is such a thing as permanent markers. Were you supposed to, was it supposed to be, like, etched in? Like, was it supposed to be, like, built into the design, or does writing it in permanent marker count, too? There we go. Get a little stretchy stretch. You guys get a free stretchy stretch because I just feel like I need to stretch. It's early in the morning. Mom and I went bowling yesterday. No thank you, Aaron Yeager. I've already got the best viewers on Twitch. Oh, it's in the possession of your instructor now. Gotcha. Gotcha. So then I guess it sounds like process of elimination as far as whose it is, because I'm sure he'll figure out it's yours. I'm sure. Let's see. So yesterday we went bowling. That's right. That's what I was saying. So we did what's called color pin bowling, which is where they have some kind of neon colored pins every so often. They go in different places in the what did I call that? In the stack, in the setup of the pins, and so you earn some money depending on how you do. So like if the lead pin, the number 1 pin, is a color pin and you get a strike, you get 50 cents. And then there are certain shots that are like worth a lot more than that. Like for example, if you were to get a 7-10 split and convert it, which means you get both the 7, which is over here, and the 10, which is over here, then you get $100. Because that conversion is near impossible. But then you also can buy tickets in between games. They will pull tickets and you get a chance to earn money from the pot that was used, of money spent to get tickets. So, and then you get, depending on how much was given, you can get $25 for a strike, or you can get $1 a pin. And so it was really, really fun. I got a 108, a 113, and a 133. And then Mom got, let's see, I've got pictures of our stats. She got a 94, an 88, and a 102. And so it was really, really good. It was a lot of fun. It was good to kind of get that, it was time to get, one of those things where we were able to just get out, get some practice in. The name should have been etched in, and the board is pretty tiny. Permanent marker wouldn't really work well for it. But yeah, you submitted the schematics too. He made note of which one's yours. Shouldn't be too much of a problem, and most importantly, you don't think it'll affect your grade. Good! Hey, how's it going, Diamond? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. So it was a good day, and then we ended up not having Pathfinder last night, so I got to go have pizza with Mom and Dad and some friends of ours. And then we watched Boston Blue, which was really, really good. Highly recommend. And then, let's see, hung out in a friend's Twitch stream in between those two things, got some laundry, done. Oh, the gremlins made you go bowling yesterday. How did you guys do? And then get their nails done. Nice. Might not be able to make it to the party partly because of your class. Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot Halloween was on a Friday, and I was just looking at the calendar too. They did say that it's okay to get there late. They did say it's okay to get there late. So depending on how late your class goes, I want to say you said it goes till 7? I want to say you said it goes till 7? But yeah, if you're able to make it, that's great. If not, that's fine too. Oh, it goes till 8. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Darn. Well, we need to make time to hang out soon. We definitely need to make time to hang out soon. Oldest bowled 120, 135, and 152. Youngest got an 80, 75, and a new personal best, 110. Nice! That's fantastic! How did you bowl? Because I got a 108, a 113, and a 133. My highest that I've ever gotten, I think I got a 170 something once. I've gotten over 150 twice. Most of my scores tend to be between 80 and low hundreds. You bowled 220, 255, and 290? Dude! Nice! I was considering joining a Thursday night league, but unfortunately I don't think that's in the budget. And so, because they charge like $20 a week, $18 to $20 a week, and I'm already in a Sunday night league that charges $16 a week. And I'm like, you know, I just don't think the Thursday one is in the budget right now. Unfortunately. Your pops is a PBA Hall of Fame, so bowling comes naturally. That's fair, that's fair. One of my friends from church loves bowling, and was actually the guy that introduced Mom and me into the bowling league that we're in on Sunday nights. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a great form of exercise. It's a great way to meet new people, and I love it. It's a lot of fun. You still prefer pool or billiards? Yeah, that's fair. Every time my jukebox brain hears pool, automatically my brain goes to the Music Man. Well, you got trouble, my friend. Right here, I say trouble right here in River City with a capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. And it's a scene where Professor Harold Hill is trying to convince the people of River City, Iowa, that the fact that they have a pool hall in town is the devil's foothold in their town. And he's going to use that pool hall to lead their young men astray, and they need to get rid of it and have their young men join the boys band that he's starting instead. And so it's a fun little song. Let me look it up. Oh yeah, I am a musical nerd. I am a total musical theater nerd. I don't know all things musical, but the ones that I love, I will geek out about those as the day is long. Let's see here. Trouble in River City. Friend, you're either closing your eyes to a situation you do not wish to acknowledge, or you are not aware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool table in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friend. Right here, I say trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a billiard player. Certainly mighty proud I say. I'm always mighty proud to say it. I consider that the hours I spend with the cue in my hand are golden. Help you cultivate horse sense and a cool head and a keen eye. Did you ever take and try to find an ironclad leave for yourself from a 3-rail billiard shot? But just as I say it takes judgment, brains, and maturity to score in a bulk line game, I say that any poop can take and shove a ball in a pocket. And I call that sloth. The first big step on the road to the depths of degradé. I say first medicinal wine from a teaspoon, then beer from a bottle. And all this other stuff. And he goes, with a capital B, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. And all week long your River City youth will be frittering away. I say your young men will be frittering away their noontime, supper time, chore time too. Get the ball in the pocket, never mind getting dandelions pulled, or the screen door patched, or the beefsteak pounded, all this other stuff. And it's like trying to get them to see just how terrible it is. Is there the ghost of tie-dye chef Dave? I feel like there's this presence just going buck, 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 right behind me. Somebody that's been up since 5 p.m. You're a walking encyclopedia of animal knowledge. I love that, Diamond. He's not here. Yeah, but I hear this very, very faint, very distant, very tired. Buck, 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 buck. I love that emote. Malaga has such fun emotes. And then what's really fun in that song is when the people of River City, Iowa start joining in, and they're all freaking out, and they're like, we've surely got trouble right here. And they're like, our children's children gonna have trouble. And he's got them convinced. If you didn't join the military, you were gonna join or go to college for biology or zoology. Nice! That is so cool. We need good people in the sciences. My uncle was actually hold on. My train of thought literally just went Oh, I'm excited to see this invisible clip. Hold on. It's coming. Everything's fine. Exactly. How's your day going, Dave? I hope it's going well. Do you have let's see. So you need, let's see, if you were up since 5 p.m. You said p.m., right? Yeah, 5 p.m. So that means that you've been up since 3 p.m. my time. You sure you don't need sleep, my friend? I'm glad you're here, but are you sure you don't need sleep? Let's see. You're exhausted, mom's out of town, so caring for the pupper solely, so waking up early to care for said pupper. And then work this morning was a doozy. Oh man. Oh man. What made it a doozy? Was it just because you were tired? Oh good. I'm glad you're gonna get a nap in and get some sleep, because we need to make sure, you and me both, we need to make sure we're not staying up too late, because I was up way too late last night. And then I woke up at 6. No, a bit before 6, because I had to go to the bathroom. And then I laid down for a little while, and then woke up at 7. Breaks the wifey's heart, but truthfully, you peace and warfare? I mean, there can be, I guess. I guess the hard part for me is I love our military, and I am so grateful for the men and women who lay their lives down for us and put themselves on the front line. I just think war is a sad but sometimes a necessary thing. Ah, you found peace. Sorry, dealing with Gremlin Dog. Oh, no worries, no worries. You had to make 170 sandwiches. The expectation is 16 an hour since we slice everything fresh daily. Oh, wow. 170 sandwiches. No wonder you're tired. Thing is, though, Diamond, I wonder if had Adam and Eve not sinned, had they not taken that fruit, would we still have war? If we did not have our sin nature, would there still be war? And that I don't know. That I do not know the answer to. I need to look up this because it's gonna bug me. Let's see. Not that. It's not that. Physics. He was a physics major. My uncle was a physics major. Christian pretty much my entire life, and I don't know the answer to that, so I guess it makes sense. Outcast, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Because I mean, to me, I really don't know that there would be war if we didn't have our sin nature. It's been a great day. I was reading in John 14 today, and it was a really good reading, and some good stuff about, like, I really think this is where the disciples are slowly starting to put the pieces together, because they're like, wait, but you're saying this, and if that, then that, you know? And they haven't fully grasped it. Yeah, I'm with you, soul. I'm with you there. War, as it looks right now, at least, is a result of our sinful nature. If we lived for God, free of sin, then we would treat each other as He intended. Exactly, because then we would be living by the golden rule, which is treat others the way that you want to be treated. We would love God and love people. And there is so much about this world that would change if we just lived for God, if we lived the way that He wants us to live, if we saw people the way that He wants us to, and the way that He does. Psalm 118:1-3 has been your Bible verse for the week. I love you, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my God, my rock in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I call upon the Lord who is worthy to be praised, and I am saved from my enemies. I love that. I love that when you lean on God, He is that stronghold. He is that fortress. He delivers. It's not us. It's not us doing the work. It's Him working in and through us. And it's one of those things where we need, like, it's not, we're not able to do it in our own strength. We need God because He's the one that gives us the strength that we need. We could not resist temptation on our own. Only with God's help. Because in 1 Corinthians, he does say, no temptation has taken you except such as is common to man, but God is faithful. He will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able, but with the the temptation, he will provide the way of escape that you may be able to bear it. And that means, it does not mean that we're not going to be stretched. It does not mean that we're going to be able to get out of that temptation on our own. That is taking that verse out of context. What that means is with God's help, because in that verse, who is providing the way of escape? God is. And we need to look for that way of escape and take that way of escape. And so it's saying he will not allow us to be tempted beyond what we're able with his help. Your cousin is a pastor, and you told him in times like this it's better to be a wolf than a lamb, and he nodded, knowing what you meant. Unfortunately, a lot of this world requires, actions speak louder than words. St. Francis of Assisi said, speak the gospel at all times, and when necessary, use words. And what that means is our actions and our words need to line up, but also that our life should look different to the world. Our life, our joy, should look different, and then when somebody comes up and says, hey Donna, hey Soul, hey Dave, hey Outcast, what is it about you that's so different? That's when we use the gospel and use our words to speak the gospel. He jokingly told him, I'll throat punch you, and he said, I'll tell your mom you're being mean again. I mean, if you ever decide that you want to come back, we will welcome you with open arms. And in the meantime, we're praying for you. Ephesians 6:12 leads you to believe that war would not exist if man had not sinned. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. Exactly. A lot of what we face is spiritual warfare. And we're in a time of heavenly spiritual battle. We're in a time of extreme spiritual warfare. And we need to be praying. We need to be praying to make sure that we're doing things the way that God wants. We need to be praying protection. We need to be praying for strength. I need a pagan bestie to keep life spicy. Hey, I mean, I've got lots of friends that don't believe like I do. And so you're right, it does keep life interesting. It's one of those things that also, I do believe that as Christians, our innermost circle needs to be Christian, because that innermost circle is who you go to when you need advice. That innermost circle is the one that you go to when you need somebody to call you out and call it like they see it. So it makes sense to me that you would want your innermost circle to believe like you do. That's not to say that all of your friends need to be Christian, because that's how do we know more about what you believe if I don't first try to get to know you? You know what I mean? And so it's one of those things where, and then we're also called to love people. And while loving people doesn't necessarily mean you're friends with everyone, it does mean that you treat everybody with respect. It does mean that you make sure that you have those solid friendships, you know? That universal friend here to hang or commit a felony. Oh, man. Wow, we've been chatting up a storm, and this has been great. I am loving this. So while we continue chatting for a couple more minutes, go ahead and put any prayer requests in the chat. Use either just putting it in chat or that 1 point channel, or that 1 channel point redemption, there we go, that said, please pray for me. And I made it where there's a text box and you can just type it in. That puts it not just in my chat, but it also puts it in my activity feed. And it lets me know, hey, I need you to pray. You know? And then, let's see, what other fun channel points do we have? We got lurking in the game room. We got all kinds of fun sound alerts. Mom raised you to be kind and caring, and Dad raised you to never back down. Hey, that's fair, because we need to know why we believe what we believe, and we need to be ready to defend it. That doesn't mean that we're going, you shall believe, and bashing the Bible over their head. But it does mean that if somebody comes up to me and says, hey Donna, why do you believe in God? That I can go, you know, I've seen God at work in my life. I've seen him at work in my life and the life of others. To me, I see him in creation. I see him in the way that science works. I see him in the fact that the scribes that were translating the Bible took such great care to make sure that they were writing down what was actually said, that they were looking at all their different sources. See, it means that I can go gently and defend why I believe what I believe. It doesn't mean that I'm going, Diamond, you will believe. You know what I mean? It's just going, hey, this is what I believe, this is why. Duct tape can't fix stupid, but it can muffle it. This is true. And honestly, being that Bible-thumping Christian isn't really going to win you anything. It's not going to win you any points. It's being able to go respectfully. It's going respectfully and saying, hey, you know, this is my 2 cents on it. I'd love to hear what you have to say on it, you know? Your dad's voice sounds a little better today, so praise for that, but prayers that he continues to recover and that you don't catch whatever he caught. You got it. You got it. And then, let's see, what else is there? What else was I gonna say? Chatted with Sis a little bit. She seems to be doing a little better, which is good. And then, let's see. You have family like that, and they also treat you like a monster for what you did in the military, but you ignore them because it ain't worth the fight. I think part of my view on the military stems from the fact that I have a strong military background in my family. I have Coast Guard, Navy, and Army all in my family. And to me, I don't see joining the military and participating in the military as anything bad. It's nothing, I don't think it's something I could do. I really don't think it's something I could do, A, for medical reasons, but B, I just don't know if I have the temperament to do that, you know what I mean? And so I applaud those who do, because they are keeping us safe. They're doing what they have to do, and it's an unfortunate part of the world that we live in, that war is a thing. You're 4th generation military, 3rd generation Marine. Nice! Alright, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and pray, and then I will look up partway through the prayer just to make sure that I don't miss anything. we'll dive in to the game. Lord, thank you so much for who you are, how much you love us, the price that you paid for us so that we can be with you forever if we choose to believe in you. Thank you for free will, that you didn't want us to be robots, but that you wanted us to choose you freely. That you wanted us to be able to look at creation and say, I believe. That you didn't force that relationship on us, Lord. Lord, I pray for Soul and her dad. I praise you that his voice is starting to slowly come back. I pray that he continues to recover and that Soul stays healthy. I pray for my sister to continue to be healed, that any recordings that they're doing today, her and my brother-in-law, that they can get them done. I ask that you be with Tie-Dye Chef Dave and give him the rest that he needs, Lord. Be with Diamond and help him get everything done that he needs to get done today, Lord. Help him to be the father that you have called him to be, and to be able to do what you have asked him to do. Be with Galaxy, be with Dreamer, be with Lotu, be with Bearded Beowulf and Legend of Zyro, be with Kishu, be with Spark, be with Save the Lost, be with Catherine Naomi, be with Faithful Wanderer and Soldier, Lord. I just ask that you be with each and every one of them in the way that they need you to be with them, Lord. Be with Lady Foes and Adafoes and sweet little baby foes. Be with Cornchip and Nugget and Shopkeep. Be with anybody who is struggling physically, whether illness or injury. I ask that you be with anybody struggling mentally as well, Lord. Be with anybody who needs to come to know you. I ask that you put people in their lives to point them back to you. I ask that you be with anybody whose heart needs to be softened, their minds need to be opened, Lord. Be with the unspoken in my extended family and move the mountains that need to be moved, open eyes that need to be open, and soften hearts that need to be softened. Give us a great time of fellowship today, and in your name I pray. Amen. Alright. Let me go ahead and change the category. We're gonna pause the musics. And then let's go ahead and get, so that, I guess you guys know what I'm doing. There we go. To the game screen. Now, when we last left Caller X Malice, we were at a concert. And at the concert, we found out that Hana, who looked all sweet and innocent at first, creepy, but also kind of more innocent-natured, kind of not mousy, but basically last person that the police officers in this game would have expected to be involved, is affiliated with Adonis in some way, shape, or form. Alrighty, Diamond. And then during the concert, she basically takes Ichika's brother hostage because she is obsessed with Ishiki, who is the leader or lead singer of the band that Ichika's brother, Why am I blanking on names? Yes. Ah. My brain, why is it doing this to me? All the names! Soul, help me out here. Alright, main characters. Kazuki! That's right, Kazuki. Her brother Kazuki. And we had our first bad ending. Our very first bad ending when, in an attempt at... Yes, Ichika and Enomoto went to talk to Ishiki, who was wrongfully arrested by Fuji. And Ishiki starts to see... Like, he still isn't fully trusting of the police, but he sees that Enomoto is clearly affected by everything and blames himself for Fuji's death. And he does a great job of assuaging those fears in Enomoto. And when Hana takes Kazuki hostage, it's actually Ishiki who also steps up and is kind of like trying to talk her down. And so Enomoto, Sayaki, and Ichika try to save Kazuki. And unfortunately, we got our first bad ending when Ichika misses the shot. And Hana gets upset and ends up shooting and killing Kazuki. That is true. Enomoto apologized to him on behalf of Fuji. Yes. And that went a long way. That went a very long way with Ishiki. And so then we went back. It took us a few tries to get the timing right in trigger mode, but we saved Kazuki. But unfortunately, Sayaki ended up being shot, and he is in critical condition in the hospital, and we don't know if he's going to make it. We had a fantastic growing of the relationship between Ichika and Kazuki, where Kazuki starts to see that Ichika really does care. And he's like, hey, I'm proud of you for doing what you felt you needed to do. I was jealous that you were able to do whatever job you wanted to do when I was expected to take over the family business. And I was basically feeling like I would be forced to give up my dreams in order to fulfill the family's requirements. And don't worry, we're postponing the concert. You're going to get a ticket. I will make sure. This is true. It did more or less show that Ishiki has moved on for the better. And I loved what Ishiki had to say, because Ishiki basically was like, hey, I went through stuff. Life is hard. But if life wasn't hard, I wouldn't have stuff to write about. And in a sad sort of way, it makes sense. So now we are back at Ichika's workplace, and we're gonna see how things go from here. We're gonna see if we can finish up Enomoto's route. The morning after the incident, I went to work after briefly stopping home to sleep. Yeah, Hana overheard their discussion with him, learned that they were associated with law enforcement, and decides to try to go after them, which doesn't go well in any of the endings. Exactly. Because either she dies in Ichika's fit of rage and revenge, or she ends up getting injured, getting shot to injure, and ends up being arrested. So... Nanaki, thank you so much for the lurk. Hope you're doing well. The station was buzzing because of the capture of the culprit behind the police abduction and murder. I was called into the audio room. Ichika Hoshino of the Shinjuku Special Region Crime Prevention Office reporting.
ああ、入ってください。
Excuse me. I entered the room and I saw two men I didn't recognize standing there. Seiji Minagishi?
私は警視庁捜査一課の峯岸誠二刑事です。
Oh, I
本
need
事
to
件の
look
管
at
理
the
官を担
glossary
当しています。
because I realized I completely forgot to check the glossary yesterday. So let's see here. Let's go to our dictionary. Here we go. Dark history. An internet slang term referring to a past act or period one is ashamed of. Saiki got heavily drunk recently and caused a mishap where he was talking with the giant police department mascot and took it home with him. Why does that not surprise me? That drunk Saiki would take home the giant police department mascot. Oh, that is hilarious. So Minagishi is from Division 1. He's in charge of handling the X-Day incidents. Okay.
そしてこちらが
Hajime Morioka?
警視庁捜査一課長の森岡はじめだ。
Division 1 Chief. Okay. Division 1 Chief? This role is typically filled by a police officer who brings years of experience and achievement to the table. Okay. I immediately straightened my posture due to talking with a higher up I don't speak to.
昨夜の事件については部下から報告が上がっている。重軽傷者は出たが、死亡者ゼロで事件を収束できたのは幸いだった。
Yes, but if I was alone, I'd have never been able to apprehend the suspect.
佐伯譲る巡査や元第二機捜所属の榎本峰夫の力があればこそ。
Yes.
なるほどな。出世に欲がくらむ奴は多く見てきたが、お前はそういった連中とは違うらしい。峯岸、話してやる。
Interesting.
Hi.
Is she getting promoted? Minagishi turned back to me after picking up a report in his hand.
先のライブハウス発砲事件で現行犯逮捕した容疑者は小林花子、20歳、アパレルショップ勤務。警察官拉致殺害事件の容疑者でもあり、現在重傷により入院中。そのため聴取は先送りとなりますが、病院に搬送される前から彼女には記憶の欠落が見られていました。
Memory loss. Huh?
なぜ自分が負傷したのか、どうしてあの場所にいたのか。
I mean, that is a defense mechanism that the brain can use. There's a side story featuring Minagishi in the fan disc. You're not the only one who's mildly disappointed that Morioka didn't get one too. Aww, Morioka seems so cool. Why didn't they give him one? Why didn't they give him one too?
彼女は全く記憶にないそうです。
But She confessed to everything in detail while she was at the concert. And now she doesn't remember any of it? That's impossible. Not necessarily, because again, that is a defense mechanism of the brain, especially after a very traumatic event, to kind of block it out.
あなたのおっしゃる通り、彼女の自白については多くの者が耳にしています。今さら言い逃れできる状態でないことは小林自身も理解しているはずです。ですから負傷したショックによる一時的な記憶の混濁ではないかとも考えたのですが、医師の話によるとそういったものではないらしいのです。
Oh?
プロファイラーが行動科学の観点から小林を分析した結果、
This academic discipline analyzes human behavior and attempts to draw legitimate, objective conclusions based on analysis. Psychology and psychiatric medicine are part of this branch of science.
アドニスという組織での彼女は末端の存在。駒だった。
So then once she wasn't able to be useful anymore, then Adonis kind of took out those memories?
正確に言えば、組織の人間ですらないようだな。
What do you mean by that?
一連の X デイ事件を起こすために用意された付け焼き場の実行犯。アドニスに計画を持ちかけられた一般人だ。そのため、組織にとって不利になることを話さないよう、何らかの形で X デイ事件に関わった記憶を抹消された可能性が高い。理解しがたいことだが、ポリグラフ検査でも呼吸、脈拍、血圧ともに異常は見られなかった。
A so-called lie detector records a person's breathing, blood pressure, and pulse. By looking for changes in that person's body, a judgment can be made if their statements are truthful. When she confessed to her crimes, Kobayashi did not show a hint of remorse. She was even talking about how the murder was fun to her. And now I'm supposed to believe that someone like that doesn't remember what she did? That's unacceptable! I had seen all the pain and suffering that Enomoto had endured, so I couldn't swallow that convenient excuse. Isn't there anything else that can be done? How about taking her to the crime scene? Or showing her the crime announcement video?
もちろん我々も小林の回復を待って本格的な聴取をするつもりでいます。
Tim the terrible typist at work again. Yep, exactly. Alright guys, we've got ads starting in a minute. So once that ad break starts, I will go into BRB so that you guys don't miss a thing.
ですが、もしアドニスが何らかの方法で小林の記憶を抹消したので元に戻す方法が存在しない可能性も考えられます。
That's a good point. I attempted to tamp down my rage by balling a hand into a fist. Enomoto and I, even Sayaki, stood up and risked our lives to stop Kobayashi. And if this was what we got for it, it's terrible.
X デイ事件の実行犯は小林一人じゃない。まだ逮捕すべき犯罪者は残っている。一人残らずに X デイを阻止すること。それが今、最も重要視すべきことだ。
Morioka looks ahead and it makes me feel like I've just been woken up. Our mission directive as police officers hasn't changed one bit.
ああ。納得できる内容でなくとも、犯人検挙に貢献した一人として、お前には伝えるべきだと判断した。
Knowing that is what Morioka must view as being considerate, I bow. Thank you.
いや、礼を言うのは俺の方だ。
Huh?
今回、犯人を逮捕したのは特防だからな。捜査本部の奴らも闘志を燃やしている。
Alright, see you guys in a minute. Alright, we are back. Thank you for sitting through those ads with me.
お前の働きがいい起爆剤になったようだ。
I didn't...
お前一人の力でなくとも警察全体の士気が上がったことに変わりはない。今は警察も一丸となる時だ。それをお前は示してくれた。小林に関しては何か進展があれば知らせる。アドニスが警察を敵視している以上、お前が狙われる可能性もあるからな。
That is true because not only is she police, but also the caller.
くれぐれも警戒を怠らないようにしろ。
Yes, I understand. I bowed and quickly exited the audio room to go to special prevention. A chance that Adonis targets me? I hope my expression didn't reveal anything. Morioka must not be surprised that Adonis have already targeted me. Or must not suspect that Adonis has... that. Tim the Terrible Typist. Oh wait, no, because Adonis is multiple. Morioka must not suspect that Adonis have already targeted me. Even so, I can't believe Kobayashi's forgotten it all. I don't know how to tell Enomoto. April-May update has been added to materials. I return to my desk and see Mochida collecting some papers.
星野、昨夜は大変だったな。
Yeah, that's one way to put it. Yeah.
弟の出るライブに行くとは聞いてはいたが、まさかそんなことになるとは。佐伯が撃たれたと聞いたときは、正直生きた心地がしなかったぞ。
I'm sorry for making you worry.
ここのところ、お前が時間を見つけては職務外のことをしているのは気づいてた。思い詰めた顔をしていることも多いし、追求すべきではないと思っていたんだが。
That was me researching the X-Day incidents. We're in the same department, so I couldn't keep it hidden forever. I'm sorry. Actually...
いや、皆まで言わなくても分かってる。こう見えて、俺もお前の上司だからな。
spoke so confidently, I got nervous. What do you know?
俺の目はごまかせないぞ。星野、お前、捜査一課を目指しているんだろう。
Yeah, that's it. Huh?
お前も仲間だったとはな。そうならそうと、もっと早く言ってくれればよかったもの。
He's totally misunderstanding everything. Mochida?
かくいう俺も、ベージュのトレンチコートに身を包み、大悪党に手錠をかける日を夢見てる一人だ。X デー事件の犯人を逮捕できたら、妄想ばかり募らせてはいたが、まさかお前に先を越されるとはな。
Just roll with it, Ichika. Just roll with it. If I said he's wrong, he's going to poke his nose into lots of stuff. Yeah, I always loved watching police dramas. I blurt out an invented motive to join the police force, and Mochida nods vigorously. The game audio is echoing? Okay, let's see here. How's that? I turned down the Elgato a little bit. I'm so glad Mr. Mochida and Enomoto have very similar thought processes. I felt greatly relieved and decided to go one step further. I think of my job first and foremost, but the people in our district will never feel at peace until the X-Day incidents are resolved. Good. If possible, I would like to continue to pursue this case.
俺も事件のことが気になってこっそり調べてはいたからな。咎められる立場じゃない。
Then...
その代わり、危ない真似だけはするなよ。何かあったら俺に相談すること。いいな。
Yes. Mr. Mochida sees me nod and returns to organizing the paperwork. I reached for the phone that was ringing for SRCPO. Because of my involvement in the situation from last night, Mochida told me to leave work early and get some rest. It was so subtle that you thought it was the setting of the room in game at first. Oh, that might have been it. But I think you're right. I think I did have the Elgato audio a little bit louder. I sort of feel sorry. I felt a bit regretful about leaving the office while the sun was still up. And then... I just happened to see Okazaki as he was going to enter the station. Hello?
こんにちは、猫さん。こんなところで会うなんて奇遇だね。
Yes.
そういえば、
I mean,
5月の
it's
X
where
デー事件の
she
犯人を
works,
逮捕したんだってね。
Huh?
ミネオくんと一緒に大活躍したんでしょ。猫さんってすごいんだね。
It was definitely Elgato. That fix resolved it immediately. Perfection! As usual, Okazaki made my mind begin racing in several different directions. So the arrest of the suspect is...
間違ったこと言った？
Okazaki's expression didn't change at all. I had interacted with him previously as if I was someone hiring out the private detective firm. Does he know everything? If the office members were being protected, it was only natural for him to investigate me because I was a customer of theirs. But I bumped into him here and he was speaking to me like we were on familiar terms. You knew I was a police officer.
このまま気づかないふりもできるかなって思ったけど、昨日は相手が発砲して警察官の一人が撃たれたんだよね。
Yes.
それで猫さんも同じような目にあったら嫌だなって思ったんだ。だから今度からは俺も頼ってね、星野一花さん。
Even though he smiled the same way, I felt like this was a different Okazaki I was seeing all of a sudden, so my face tensed up.
フルネームで呼ぶとなんだか他人行儀で嫌だな。あ、そうだねえ、名前で呼んでもいい？
My first name?
一花ちゃん。
He sounds so friendly. But when Okazaki says it, everything sounds perfectly normal or natural.
やっぱりしっくりくるから今度からこっちで呼ばせてもらうね。
Oh, sure. I don't really want to be called Kitty all the time, so I accept that.
あ、帰るところだったんだよね。送っていこうか。
No, I'm fine. Don't you have business here at the police department?
でも君のことも心配だし。
Okazaki had been worried about me ever since we met. I was surprised he looked into my background, but that's his job. Don't worry. If I need your help, I'll ask for it.
そっか。ま、あんまり仲良くしちゃうとミネオくんが拗ねちゃうかも。じゃあ、バイバイ。
Well, if you'll excuse me. I see Okazaki head inside the police office and then turn my head to the side. Why would Enomoto sulk if I was getting friendly with Okazaki? Because Enomoto likes you, Ichika. He likes you. He would sulk because he would be getting jealous. I wasn't able to do anything once I returned home. Sayaki has stabilized, but he's still unconscious. I wonder what Enomoto's doing. Hana Kobayashi, the suspect of the abduction and murder case, has been arrested. But her memory of everything is gone. How would Enomoto feel if he learned that?
絶対に許さねえ。あいつも先輩と同じ目に合わせてやる。
Enomoto really wanted to hurt her badly. Just because the suspect's arrested, it doesn't mean that his head's cleared. After the incident, we didn't talk much before we parted ways. I considered contacting him, but nothing I would be able to say was likely to help all that much, so I hesitated. Huh? A text message? Surprised, I took out my phone. Feel like meeting up now? Enomoto! Yes, I can go now. Whoa, calm down. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. I'll be waiting in front of my office. Don't run or you'll probably trip. I stowed my cell phone and quickly grabbed my coat. I better hurry. Enomoto had warned me, but I still almost tripped several times en route to the office.
お前必死すぎ。別に急いで来いとは言ってないだろ。
Well, that's true. I was wondering whether to contact you. That's why... Enomoto smirked at me while he looked at me, gasping for breath.
心配かけたよな。悪い。昨べは 俺も頭の中ぐちゃぐちゃで余裕なくて。でも昨日の件の報告も兼ねて柳先輩たちに話聞いてもらったらだいぶ落ち着いてきてさ。電話でってよりは直接会って話した方がいいと思ったんだ。
There's something that I need to tell you, Enomoto.
なんだよ改まって。
It's about the girl we arrested yesterday. This Hanako Kobayashi. All her memories of the incident seem to have been erased. Unexpectedly, Enomoto was not surprised at all. He nodded as if he already knew. So it is
本
true.
当なんだな。俺も白石さんから聞いた。
Huh? Oh, Shiraishi's the profiler Morioka was referring to.
嘘を言ってる様子もないし、ショックによる一時的な障害でもない。事件に関わった記憶だけがすっぽり抜け落ちて消えちまってる。おそらく強制的に消されたって言ってた。
Yeah, I heard the same story from the people at Investigation HQ. If Kobayashi is just a pawn of Adonis, they may have taken precautions to ensure that she doesn't blab anything about the organization.
信じられねえよな。あんなことしておいて何も覚えてねえとかさ。
If I felt mortified by this news, I couldn't imagine what Enomoto was feeling right now. Enomoto,
そんな顔すんなよ星野。言ったろ落ち着いてきたって。そりゃ知った時は意味わかんねえ、ふざけんじゃねえって思ったけど、小林をどうこうすることがゴールじゃない。問題はその先にある。
Enomoto was calm right now. He was nothing like he was when his emotions ran wild. He's certain of what he needed to do, and seeing that made me feel greatly relieved.
俺のことよか、今はお前のことだ。佐伯の意識まだ戻ってないんだよな。
Yeah. He's there because I asked him to take care of Kazuki.
違うだろ星野。
Huh?
小林がステージ上で発砲した時、あいつは真っ先に観客の心配をしてた。誰より先に増援を頼んだし、俺に向かって一般人を危険にさらすわけにはいかないとも言ってた。俺はまだちょっとしかあいつと話してねえし、全部を知ってるわけじゃねえけど、お前が頼まなくてもあいつは自ら警察官として動いたはずだ。 お前の知ってる佐伯はそういう男じゃないのか。
Enomoto's words remind me of what Sayaki had said in the past.
俺が警察官になったのは人々の幸せと世界平和のためって言ったら爆笑されてさ。せめて自分の手が届く場所にいる人が悲しんでたら助けたいよな。
Sayaki. Just as Enomoto had said, Sayaki had unwavering conviction for as long as I'd known him.
あいつだけじゃなくて、俺もお前も佐伯の立場だったら同じように動いてた。それで負傷したところで誰かのせいになんてしないだろ。
Yes.
ならお前も自分を責めたりすんな。そんなことしてたって佐伯は喜ばねえよ。
I guess you're right. Once Sayaki regains consciousness, I'll be sure to thank him for putting himself on the line and protecting my brother Kazuki. That's what I'll tell him.
ああ、その方が佐伯も喜ぶと思うぜ。それにあいつに人質救出を任せたのは俺だ。 責任なら俺にある。意識戻るまでは見舞いくらいしかできねえし、佐伯の家族には警察が事情を話してるだろうけど、ちゃんと謝らねえと。
You have enough on your plate. Even in times like this, Enomoto is thinking about Sayaki and me. I ran here worrying about Enomoto, but our roles flipped before I even realized it. Enomoto? Are you really okay?
くどいぞ、お前。そりゃ多少時間はかかったけどさ、今の俺、いつもと変わらないだろ？
Well, you may seem the same, but you're not overexerting yourself, are you?
無理なんかしてねえよ。
You're still putting up a front. That's a bad habit. No matter how you show yourself, I'm not going to become disillusioned or distant. So can you please just tell me what you're really thinking?
たく、お前にはかなわねえな。ま、今さらカッコつけても仕方ねえか。正直なとこ言うぜ。花、小林に挑発されたあの時、俺はあいつを殺してやるって思った。頭に血が上って視界が真っ赤になって、気づいたら銃口を向けてた。俺なら絶対に外したりしない。先輩が受けた以上の苦しみを与えてやる。一瞬でも確かにそう思った。
Enomoto?
あの時もそうやって俺の名前を呼んでくれたよな。あの瞬間さ、頭の中でいろんな言葉が響いてきたんだ。捜査の協力をさせてほしい。一緒に事件を追いたい。向き合ってくれるまで諦めない。何があってもそばにいて支える。一人にさせない。絶対に俺を。
That's...
全部お前が俺に言った言葉だ。頭下げたり、全力疾走して追いかけてきたり、しがみついたり、散々ぶつかってこられたせいで忘れたくても忘れられなくて、逃げてる自分がバカらしくなっちまうほど、お前はいつも必死で一生懸命だった。お前はさ、自分には力がないとか言ってたけど、そんなことねえよ。お前を信じてみようって思えたのも、ギリギリのところで復讐心を抑えられたのも、全部お前が頑張ってくれたからだ。
Enomoto? I relax my expression, and Enomoto puts his hand on my head.
お前は最高の相棒だ。マジで感謝してる。ありがとな。昨日もよく頑張った。怖かったはずなのに、ほんとすげえよ。つい偉そうなこと言っちまうけどよ、お前が相棒でよかった。俺は幸せもんだ。何変な顔してんだよ。この俺が手放しで褒めてやってんだぞ。もっと嬉しそうな顔しろって。
I am happy, but... Why would you say all that blah, I can English. Why would you say that all of a sudden? Your words are so kind. They make me feel so happy that I want to hug you.
はあ？お前、何言ってんだ？
It's because you're so open with yourself today, Enomoto. When you get like that all of a sudden, you mess up my rhythm.
なんで褒めたのに文句言われなきゃいけねえんだよ。
I'm not complaining, I'm just telling you the truth.
同じようなもんだろ。
It's totally different.
つうか、なんださっきの抱きつきたいとかなんとか熱でもあんのか？
I know I said something super embarrassing, but I couldn't help it. That's what I felt at that moment.
開き直りやがったな。じゃあ可愛らしく抱きついてみせろバカ。
No,
なんでだよ。
because it's embarrassing.
星野、Enomoto。
I turned my head towards the source of the voice and saw a perturbed Yanagi.
互いに言いたいことを言い合えるようになったのは喜ばしいことだと思う。だが、時と場
Right,
所を
the
わきまえる
lovable nerds. They're so cute.
はい。
Yes.
分かればいい。二人ともここじゃ寒いだろう。続きは事務所の中でしたらどうだ？
Oh, Yanagi smile.
すみません、柳先輩。そうします。
Yanagi ascended the stairs as Enomoto and I hung our heads in shame.
お前のせいで柳先輩に怒られちまったじゃねえか。
That wasn't just my fault. You were shouting too, Enomoto.
相変わらずいい根性してんな。
It's one of my strong points.
ま、落ち込んでるよりはそっちの方がいいや。
Huh?
小林が捕まったからって X デイ事件が全部解決したわけじゃない。アドニスのこと、首輪のこと、
This is
この
true.
町のこと、
He has a point.
問題は山積みだからな。これからも頼むぜ、相棒。
Yes. The shadow over my heart fades. Alongside Enomoto, I think we can stand up to any enemy. I don't want to lose the company that we share. It's enough to make me forget the coldness of the collar. End of chapter? On that day, that ordinary day, everything changed in an instant.
バカ、暴れるな。
I just wanted to help the weak and powerless.
いいから、まずは落ち着いて話を。
I used my own sense of justice and took action. And yet,
お
huh?
正直者はバカを見る。そのことをあの日、嫌というほど思い知った。
What the? Chapter 5. Here we go.
俺はこの場所、ここで先輩を見つけたあの日から、あの時感じた怒りや悔しさ。でもあの時の気持ちのまま、立ち止まったままじゃ前には進めない。俺はもう先輩の背中を追いかけるのはやめる。これからは真正面に立ってちゃんと向き合いたいから。ご無沙汰してます、 藤井先輩。ここに来るまで7ヶ月もかかって、まともに墓参りもできず、すみません。でも、ようやく、こうして会いに来れた。今日は先輩に報告があるんです。この場所で先輩を殺した犯人は、やっと捕まりました。法の下で裁かれます。けど、俺は悔しい。ちっとも嬉しくねえ。ただ悔しいんです。その犯人は先輩を散々痛めつけて、あんな最悪な奴は何も覚えてな。先輩を拉致して殺したことを、あんたが受けた苦しみさえも全部なかったことにしようとしてる。俺はそんなの絶対に許さねえ。こんな終わり方じゃ納得いかねえ。そう、これで終わりじゃないんです。諸悪の根源を断たないと何も変わらない。俺一人じゃアドニスなんて組織相手に太刀打ちできないかもしれません。でも今の俺は一人じゃない。今は俺と同じように警察を辞めた人のとこに世話になってるんですけど、柳愛二さんっつって、俺より全然大人で頼りがいのある先輩なんですよ。あと笹塚健っていうドーナツバカだけど頭が切れるやつもいて、白石景之さんにはよくからかわれるけど、プロファイラーとしての力は信用してて、そんで俺の相棒は星野一花って女なんですけど、これがまた男顔負けっつうか、見た目は可愛く見えなくもないのに強情だわ、頑固だわ。最初はこんなやつが相棒なんて冗談じゃねえって思ってたんですけど、俺が変われたのはあいつの存在が大きいんです。先輩を殺した犯人を逮捕できたのも、今日ここに来る覚悟ができたのも、隣にあいつがいてくれたから。なんかうまく言えないけど、俺はあいつにとって恥ずかしくない自分でありたい。過去にとらわれないで前を向いて生きていきたい。それから俺のために全力でぶつかってきてくれたあいつを、今度は俺が助けたい。言うだけなら簡単だ。実行することに意義がある。藤井先輩ならきっとそんな風に言いますよね。俺またここから頑張ってみます。だから見守っててください。俺は必ず俺の正義を貫いてみせますから。
I received a message from Enomoto, so I went to pay him a visit at the office after work.
お、来たな星野。さ、入った。
Sure. Not to ruin the mood too terribly, but can you imagine you're a trained officer and this aggressively cutesy little girl in a bunny coat who can barely form together a proper sentence as the person who ends your life, right? Like, that's just crazy and awful, and it's like, what the heck? What the heck? Like, what a way for your life to end. The person you would least expect. You know what I mean? Inside the office, Yanagi and the other members were waiting. There were drinks and food on the table, enough for everyone who had come.
何もったいぶってんだ。言いたいことがあんなら早くしろ。
人が気持ちを沈めてる時にせかすなよ。
Right? What a way to go.
この料理柳くんが作ったんだよね。食べていいの？
待ってください。俺の話を聞いてからでお願いします。
Come on, Enomoto, you can do it! Though he was being harassed by Sasazuka and Shiraishi, Enomoto didn't give up.
今日は伝えたいことがあって、こうして集まってもらいました。全員知っての通り、4、5月の X デイ事件の犯人は逮捕できたわけですが、これもひとえに皆様のお力添えあってのことだと思っております。
Yeah, you're glad it was able to catch me a little off guard. That was fun to witness. I believe it, because I was like, wait, what? What the? How? Why? You know? He sounds like he's running for office. But I didn't want to interrupt him by saying that out loud, so I kept it to myself.
星野とも話してたんすけど、まだ解決しなきゃいけないことは山積みなわけで、みんなの力を借りなきゃ先に進めないこともあると思う。だからつまり何が言いたいかっつうと、
Enomoto takes a deep breath and then bows deeply to everyone.
これまでたくさん心配と迷惑をかけました。本当にすみません。でもこれからも頼らせてください。俺に力を貸してください。お願いします。
いいとも。
Of course, of course. Huh? Okazaki was peering through the window and slid into the room.
あ、美味しそうな唐揚げがある。1個もらうね。いただきます。
Sir, were you invited to this party?
ちょっと待った。ん？じゃねえし、何当たり前のように参加してんだよ。お前のことは呼んでねえぞ。
ああ、俺そういうの気にしないから。
Now, see, that could have gone one of two ways. One, he could have reacted the way he just did, where he's like, it's fine, I don't mind. Or he could have pulled a Maleficent and been all, not one. Oh dear, what an awkward situation. I'm glad he went with the way that he did, because that's a little more true to his character.
気にしろ。
In fact, a lot more true to his character.
俺の決意表明を聞いてもらおうとだな。
決意表明。あ、もしかして彼女と結婚するの？
Sir, he said motivation, not intentions. Motivation to solve the case. Intention, marriage. Okay? Okay. Good.
あ、結婚？
前に彼女とベッドで絡み合ってたじゃない。プロポーズでもするのかなって。
And he gets Enomoto right where it hurts. We're just gonna say very much in character for him. Okazaki, don't give people the wrong impression.
しばらく俺が来ないうちにそんな面白いことになってたんだ。
Exactly, he knows exactly what he's doing.
盛りのついたオス猫かよ。やるなら別のとこでやれ。
やるとかその、俺は。
Come on, Yanagi, step in! Step in and say something! Don't let Enomoto flounder!
あんなにギューって彼女を抱いて離さなかったのに？
Ugh.
岡崎よ、唐揚げやるからその口閉じろ。
Enomoto grabbed some fried chicken and crammed it inside Okazaki's mouth.
つまり今回の事件については完全に踏ん切りがついたということだな。
そうです。俺が言わなくても察してくれる柳先輩、さすがっす。
Thank you, Yanagi.
そんなことで呼び出したのかよ。時間の無駄、迷惑。
そんなことってなんだよ。俺にとっては大事なこと
I
で
was gonna say, come on,
知るか、
Sasazuka.
こちとらバカの世話係じゃねえんだ。はげく力を貸せ。これまで散々サボってたやつがよく言えたな。てめえのケツはてめえで拭くのが当然だろうが。
Sasazuka, come on.
俺も笹塚くんに同感かな。
Right? He got the food he wanted,
気が
so
向い
he's
た
really
ら
not
協
in
力
any
してあげる。
place to complain.
そんな。
俺は峰夫くんの味方だよ。
お前に味方されても嬉しくねえよ。
This was supposed to be a big moment for Enomoto, where he declared his determination.
柳先輩、俺の気持ちを分かってくれんのは柳先輩だけっす。
違うだろう、榎本。お前には星野がいる。
The way he read that, the way the actor read that line. Huh?
さっきの笹塚や白石の言葉も何もお前を突き放したわけじゃない。お前と星野の絆は深い。ここにいる全員それを認めてるんだ。
柳先輩まで何言ってんですか。
The two of us are getting restless while Yanagi simply smiles.
お前たちは事件を一つ解決したんだ。もう口だけの相棒じゃないだろう。
そういうことですね。俺はてっきり。
てっきりなんだ。
Right? Definite props to the voice actor for that.
いや、その事務所公認の恋人みたいな。やっぱなんでもないです。
その割には顔が赤いよ、峰夫くん。大丈夫？熱あるんじゃない？
お前、分かってて言ってねえか？
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
そんなことないよ。あ、そうだ。ちょうどみんな集まってることだし。言ってなかったけど、一応報告しとくね。俺、彼女が警察の人間だってもう分かってるから。隠さなくていいよ。
Oh, I'm sorry. We bumped into each other at the station.
ま、今まで鉢合わせなかったのが奇跡に近いからな。
彼女が依頼人なのは変わらないし、別に知られて困ることでもないよね。
Sasazuka and Shiraishi simply brushed off Okazaki's revelation.
岡崎、俺たちは俺たちで星野の依頼をこなす必要がある。
分かってるよ。柳さんたちの邪魔はしない。
When Yanagi and Okazaki glanced at each other, the tension in the room ratcheted up a notch. Oh yeah, they totally did. They totally did. I loved the banter and
星野は
rapport.
俺たちの仲間でもあるからな。いじめたりすんじゃねえぞ。
Okazaki threw up a blank stare and then reapplied his usual gentle smile.
白石さんじゃないんだから、そんな心配しなくても大丈夫。
どうだか、お前みたいに無害ですって顔したやつが。
That is true. That's one thing we learned from this
ひどいな。そんなこと言ったら彼女が怯えちゃうよ。
Okazaki walks up to me while beaming a wide smile.
俺はいじめたりしないから安心してね、いちかちゃん。
名前呼びだと。
Oh, he knows.
名前呼びを許したのか。
Oh, he was always calling me stupid cat names and I couldn't stand it anymore. Good morning, Weaver Wolf. How's it going? How's it going? Hope you're doing well.
それはそうだけど、でも俺はまだ文字呼びの。
あれ、ミネオくんひょっとして羨ましいの？
Oh, sure. I'm sure you're surprised, Okazaki. I'm sure you are. No, he's not.
別につうか俺なんてこいつの名前呼び捨てだし。
Huh?
さっき名字で呼んでなかった？
そんなことねえよな、いちか。
What should I do? Oh, we're totally going with the top one. We are totally going with the top one, calling him Mineo. Mineo! Enomoto opened his eyes wide at my sudden exclamation.
いちか、もう一回呼んでみろ。
Mineo?
もう一丁。
Mineo?
もう一声。
Mineo!
One more!
Oh my gosh, Enomoto!
うぜ、いい加減にしろ。
I felt coerced to call Enomoto by his first name.
どうよ、お前は岡崎さんだ。
Donna chose
ミネオ先輩だぜ。
wisely. Yes, I did. Mineo seemed pretty proud of that.
ミネオくんが先輩なら俺も先輩になるよね。ねえいちかちゃん、今度から俺のことも K 先輩って。
ダメだ。
ミネオくんに決定権はないでしょ。
いや、ある。
Oh, he totally is.
大きく出たね。あいつ絶対後先考えてねえぞ。
When has Enomoto ever thought before he spoke? Don't I get a say in this? Yes, Ichika, you do! You do! Take a stand, girl! I was the one they were talking about, yet they were completely leaving me out of this decision.
ま、いいや。呼び方なんて些細な問題だもんね。
さあ、勝った。
あのドヤ顔、すっげえ殴りたい。
よっぽど嬉しかったんだろうね。あえて引いた岡崎くんがすごく大人に見えるよ。
Oh, he is
そう言ってやるな。
definitely.
榎本にとっては重要な問題だったんだろう。
Does that mean I should keep calling him Mineo from now on? Mineo.
やっぱ名前呼びっていいな。
Oh, he's got his fan out. You're doing good, just a bit tired and have a bit of a headache. I'm doing well. I hope your headache goes away. Is it weather related? A caffeine headache? Lack of sleep? Any of those can cause a headache. When I saw him so filled with joy, it felt bad to just go back to calling him Enomoto. I guess when there are others around, I'll call him Enomoto, but it still feels weird.
ねえ、ところで榎本くんたちが追ってた事件は解決したわけでしょ？今後どうするの？
あ、そのことなんすけど。
My expression tensed up and I watched Enomoto turn to everyone.
俺、尾形に会いに行こうと思ってます。
5月に殺された警察官が過去5人逮捕したうちの1人か。経歴だけ見ても怪しい点は山ほどある。直接的にしろ間接的にしろアドニスとのつながりはあるだろう。
That's a good point.
でも尾形は7月の事件の裁判が長引いて勾留中と。警察を辞めた君が会うのは難しいと思うけど、その顔だと何とかするつもりみたいだね。
はい。判決が出るのは3日後なんで、その前に直接話を聞くつもりです。
やるべきことは見えているわけか。だったら俺たちはサポートに回る。尾形に話が聞けたら報告してくれ。
了解っす。いちか、事後報告になっちまって悪いな。
It's fine. I figured we'd also need to talk to Ogata, just like we did with Ishiki.
ああ、やっぱ直接会わないと本当のところなんてわかんねえし。あとさ、X 大事件についてはもちろんだけど、お前のことも絶対アドニスの好きにはさせねえから。
He says that with determination in his eyes. I feel myself being drawn to him. I think I'll be okay with Enomoto. Everything should go fine. His words had the power to make someone feel upbeat and positive.
見つめ合っちゃって、これってさ、完全に俺たちお邪魔じゃない？
満腹満腹。お腹は膨らんだから、俺はそろそろ仕事に戻ろうかな。
Why do I get the feeling that Okazaki literally ate all the food?
俺も帰る。あいつらがいたんじゃ気が散って作業どころじゃねえし。
笹塚、お前の分はタッパーに入れておいた。ジャンクフードばかりじゃ飽きるだろ。
どう思う？
柳くん、お母さんみたいだね。
うるさい。お前はそもそもちゃんと食事をとっているのか？
今食べたよ。これで当分食べなくても大丈夫。
There we go.
白石、お前。
Oh, he really is like the dad of the group and I love it.
はいはい、続きは外で聞くから。
ここはお前一人のもんじゃねえからな。程度はわきまえろよ。やり場所にすんのって言ってんだ、バカ。
いや、だからそれは誤解だって。
It really is. Before Enomoto could tell his side of the story, the four of them left the office.
なんなんだろうな、あれ。みんな妙な気聞かせちゃってさ。
You're right. The room was so lively a moment ago, so the change made me feel anxious.
あのさ、さっきは勢いもあって名前で呼んじまったけど、嫌だったか？
He is very much the dad of the group. The game often points it out, much to his chagrin. I love it. Like, I'm here for it because every group leader needs to have those kind of, for lack of better term, parent qualities who leads the group but also makes sure that everybody's at the top of their game. No, it's fine with me, although it's slightly embarrassing.
そっか。よかった。その、もしよければなんだけどさ、お互い名前で呼び合えればいいなって思うんだけど、お前はどうだ？
Sure, I don't mind.
そうか。 じゃあ一か。
I also am deeply entertained by all of the dad jokes the game makes at his expense and the old man jokes. I love it. Yes, Mr. Mineo. He's like, no, you don't need to put the Mr. Mr. Mineo?
違う、先輩は余計だっての。
What? But it wouldn't be respectful.
そうだ、ほら呼んでみ。
Mineo.
いや、だから呼び捨て希望なんだって。3はいいから。
It's one thing if we're the same age, but referring to someone older so informally seems strange to me.
真面目か。失礼もクソもあるか。俺が呼ぶのを許可してんだぞ。
So would you do the same thing if Yanagi asked you to?
え、そりゃお前。
Well, would you?
ダメだ。尊敬する柳先輩を呼び捨てになんてできねえ。
I knew it! So let me just call you Mr. Mineo then.
まあでもこれまでに比べたらだいぶ特別感はあるよな。よし、ちゃんと俺の目を見て呼んでみてくれ。
Huh?
さあ、バッチコイ。
If I have to do it again, it's kind of embarrassing. But knowing him, he'd probably start sulking if I don't say it. I made up my mind and looked into Mineo's eyes. And then... Mr. Mineo. Is that what you want?
おう。いや、なんか予想以上に来るもんがあった。
Uh-huh.
まだ慣れねえけど、やっぱいいな、こういうのって。
I saw Mineo smiling bashfully, and it makes me feel embarrassed too. Mr. Mineo, I don't think I'll get used to it. Instead of our relationship getting closer, this feels more like... The odd idea made my cheek hotter. But what am I thinking? We're partners working on a very important case here.
急にそわそわしてどうした？
No. Well, it's about Ogata. I wasn't able to research the wrongful arrest that Fuji made.
ああ、警察内部でも詳細は伏せられてるしな。俺ももう一度整理しようと思ってたとこだ。今なら改めて見えてくることもあるだろうし。
Mineo disappeared into the next room. My heart was pounding, so I took a deep breath to calm myself down. Ad break starts in a minute.
警察の捜査資料に比べたらあらが目立つかもしんねえけど、俺なりにまとめた事件の詳細だ。
Mineo brought over a sizable stack of documents and photos.
これは当時の現場になった駅に行って撮ってきたやつ。
After placing a picture of the station platform, Mineo looks down on the documents.
藤井先輩が一色康弘と尾形智樹の2人を5人逮捕したのは今から2年前の12月16日。昼過ぎで駅のホームは閑散としていて、その日非番だった先輩は偶然現場に居合わせた。
そこの女だか男だかわかんねえやつ、おい、無視してんじゃねえ。お前だよ、お前。
何ですか？
あ？なんだ、男か。女みたいな格好しやがって。そんなふざけた格好して平気な面してんだ。さぞかし人生楽しいんだろうな。 だから無視すんなよ。俺みてえなのは眼中にねえってのか？あ？
Alright, you guys, we'll end it. Well, not end it, but we'll go to ad break there. And I will be back in just a couple of minutes. Alright. Thank you guys. Sorry about that. I decided to take the time to go take a bio break.
そういうわけじゃないです。話してもらえますか？
嫌だね。迷惑そうな顔しやがって。どいつもこいつも俺を見下しやがるんだ。
やめてください。
俺が息するのも迷惑だってのか？お前何様だってんだよ！
He's not saying that at all. He's just saying leave him alone.
おい、やめろ！ あ、なんだてめえ。
話を聞いていたが、あんたが一方的に言いがかりをつけていたな。それで暴力まで振るおうとしているのを見過ごすわけにはいかない。
正義の味方参上ってわけだ。俺はな、お前みたいな偽善者ずらしたやつが一番嫌いなんだよ。
嫌いで結構。いいから彼を離せ。
嫌だね。
昼間から酒を飲んでこんなことをするなんて恥ずかしくないのか。
どいつもこいつもそうやって俺を見下すんだ。わかったよ。消えりゃいいんだろ。お望み通り死んでやるよ。
We never said we wanted that. We just wanted you to not harass people.
おい、何を考えている。やめろ。
うるせえな。話せよ。
バカ、暴れるな。君も手伝ってくれ。
はい。
俺なんかのために必死になってご苦労なこった。
いいからまずは落ち着いて話を。
話すことなんてねえよ。
そこの二人動くな。警察だ。殺人の現行犯で逮捕する。
Tell me you didn't see the whole thing without telling me you didn't see the whole thing. Sure, detain them, but don't arrest them. There's a difference.
殺人。違う。私たちを。言い訳するな。お前らが突き飛ばしたんだろ。
No, they were trying to help him.
違います。あの人が線路に飛び込もうとしたから俺たちを助けようと。
絡まれて揉めているようにしか見えなかったが。
Yeah, because they were trying to stop him and he was resisting, and so it looked like a fight, but there's a difference between fighting and trying to restrain so that he doesn't hurt himself.
絡まれていたのは事実です。でも彼が助けに入ってくれて。
人一人殺しておいて言い逃れできると思うなよ。
No. Fuji. Fuji, come on,
最初こそ
man.
2人は無実を主張してたけど、取り調べを受けていくうちに尾形は自分の罪を認めた。
Why?
はっきりとしたことは分からないけど、罪を認めた方が刑が軽くなるとか言われたんじゃねえかな。
So then the officer doing the interrogation got a forced confession from him? This is when a suspect is coerced during an investigation to extract a confession. Transparency of interrogation is getting better in recent times, but what constitutes a forced confession is a gray area.
藤井先輩は正義感の強い人だった。真面目で誠実で周りの評価も高かった。そんな人が犯行を目の前で見た。2人が意図的に突き落としたって証言してるんだ。嘘をつく理由がないと踏んで、当時の関係者も一色と尾形が黒だって思い込んでた節は。あと一般人の目撃証言もあった。ほとんどが揉めた末に2人が突き落とした。事故には見えなかったって感じのばかりだ。ただそれも藤井先輩がすぐ詰め寄って現行犯扱いしたことで先入観を刷り込まれた。
That is true.
思い込みの証言だった可能性が高い。 意識と違って尾形には養うべき家族がいた。職場での地位や守るべき世間体もあった。密室の恋じゃなく純然たる事故だと認めてもらうために本心じゃないことを言わされたとも考えられる。
That's... For example, it could be I had no intention of hurting him, but as a result of me pushing him, he ended up on the tracks. The deduction started from there, and then I didn't listen to him and I was annoyed. I may have secretly hoped he'd fall over. I may have pushed him over. They could have led him down that path, and if he admitted guilt, they could have hinted that his sentence would be reduced. The interrogator would apply pressure on the suspect to wear him down. If they repeated the same questions over and over, he may have eventually slipped up.
ああ、やったやってないを延々続けても事実がねじ曲げられてく。だっ
And in
たら
that
いっそ
case, that
罪
is
を認めた方が
not
楽に。
admissible in court, or at least it shouldn't be.
取り調べを受けていく中でそんな風に思っちまってもおかしくない。
What about the security cameras?
それが難しくてな。一連の流れは映ってた。けど見る人間によって突き落としたようにも止めようとしたようにも見える映像だったんだ。
But since the wrongful arrest was proven, that must mean that some proof was found.
ああ、亡くなった人は生前から定期的にブログを書いてた。事件が起こる数時間前に自殺するって書き込んですぐ消したらしい。知人の中にその記事を見てた人がいたみたいでな。消された記事を復元したことで元から自殺願望があったこと、事件の起こった日に飛び降り自殺を計画してたことが明らかになった。それで再度先輩も捜査員から当時の状況を聞かれて、その時に自分の犯した罪に気づいて先輩は本当のことを話した。表向きは早とちりと思い込みによるミスってことになってるみてえだけど、
Fuji must have realized how he should have acted.
そうだな。けど遅すぎた。5人逮捕がきっかけで一色はメジャーデビューの夢を逃し、尾形は職を失い家族にも見放された。
警察には正直いい印象を持ってない。憎まなかったって言ったら嘘になる。
Ishiki even freely admitted that he hated the police. From Ogata's perspective, he was just helping Ishiki escape from being harassed. And yet, as a reward, society wrongfully saw him as some kind of criminal. I was sure his despair was unimaginable.
藤井先輩がやったことは許されない罪だ。たとえ一時魔が差しただけだとしても、それで意識と尾形が築き上げてきたものを、人生そのものを壊しちまった。
Yes, I'm sure that Ogata must have been treated like an outcast.
5人逮捕が判明してから警察は火消しに走って後腐れなく解決するよう方々に手を回した。その結果表向きはなんとか丸く収まったように見えたけど、ニュースに取り沙汰されなくなっても当事者たちにはわだかまりが残って当然だ。この2年間どれだけの苦痛や苦しみに耐えたか。
That pain was what led to Fuji's death. Murder would never be justified, but it wasn't difficult to see why Ishiki and Ogata would consider exacting revenge. Mistaken arrest has been added to materials.
で、7月に尾形が関わった X デイ事件についてなんだけどさ。
As he said that, Mineo spread open a newspaper article that was among the documents. July, the one where he tried to help a woman attacked by a knife-wielding stalker? That's the one where Ogata ended up killing the stalker, right?
ああ、正当防衛が認められて裁判では無罪になるだろうって言われてるな。
The public viewed Ogata as a hero who had saved a woman and was wrongfully arrested in the past.
なんか引っかかるか？
Yes. Considering how Ogata had been mistakenly arrested in the past. Deductive reasoning with Donna. I'm guessing it's probably he wouldn't try to help others because if he was like, man, the last time I tried to help somebody, it ended up with me being arrested, he would probably be less likely to try again. But let's take a look. Oh. Yeah, I think he probably wouldn't try to help others. If he'd figured he would get caught up in a mess again, he wouldn't be so gung-ho about jumping in to help others in danger.
ああ、俺もそこが気になってた。いくら女が絡まれてるからって、相手はナイフを持ってたんだ。自分の身も危険になるし、何より2年前と似た状況だ。避けて通りたいと思うのが普通だよな。
I could understand if maybe he was the only one who could possibly help, but that place was full of people. But Ogata went ahead and jumped in anyway. He picked up the knife the man dropped, and he fought back.
正義感の強いやつなら、助けを求められて見てみるふりはできなかったってのも、もちろん考えられるけど。
The autopsy report said that the stalker had some controlled substances in his system. It takes a lot of courage to stand up to a crazy man holding a knife.
ま、ここまでは推測の域だ。尾形は正義感の強い、勇敢な男だった。本当にそれだけの可能性もあり得るからな。ただ、ここでさらに引っかかるのが、その時に助けた女、菅原理香の存在だ。
The suspect wanted in the arson murder case?
そう。アドニスとの関与が濃厚だって話。これだけ揃って、尾形がただの通行人だったってのは、さすがに楽観的すぎる。
Yes.
7月の事件当時、菅原理香は、殺されそうになったところを尾形が寸出のところで助けてくれたと証言してる。
At the time, there was nothing suspicious about that testimony, but now she's wanted. It's possible that Sugawara and Ogata were conspirators for this murder. But Rika Sugawara and Ogata don't know each other outside of this case.
ああ、そこは確実らしい。関係性は徹底的に洗ったって聞いた。まあ、面識もない女を助けるために刃物持った男相手に丸腰で立ち向かったって意味では、より不自然さが際立つけどな。
He was wrongfully arrested in the past, and now Tomoki Ogata was suspected of murdering Fuji. Although he had been cleared of the murder because of his alibi, 2 months later he committed a murder to help another. And the woman he saved happened to be wanted as a suspect for the arson murder, which made him a likely affiliate of Adonis.
ちょっとできすぎてるよな。
Yes. The police aren't stupid. They must have seen Ogata was likely a member of Adonis and tried to gather evidence. However, their attempts to find anything tying him to Adonis had been unfruitful so far.
本当のところ、尾形智樹って男はどういうやつなのか。
Oh, good! You've got Evie into the harness without too much fighting, and now that she's been given freedom, she doesn't seem to know what to do with it. Hi, Evie! How are you, sweet girl? How you doing? You guys going for a little walk?
自分の目で見極めてみたいと思ったんだ。会えるとしたら交流されてる今しかない。
He might be involved with Fuji's murder. Mineo maintained his calm. But since you're not an officer, it'll be difficult for you to visit him.
そこは佐竹さんに取り計らってもらった。かなり無理言っちまったけどな。早ければ明日の午後に面会できるってよ。お前も一緒に来てくれるか。
Now intimidated by the outdoors. Oh, she's like, I don't know what to do. I'm usually never outside. What do I do with this, mother? Of course. I answered immediately and Mineo showed a relieved smile.
ありがとな。すげえ心強い。
Don't mention it. Yeah, really, don't mention it. When he was working the police abduction and murder case, something just felt grim about it. But I didn't feel that from Mineo anymore at this moment. Maybe he's depending on me. No matter how he needed it, I was happy to be able to help him. And she will, unfortunately, still fight the harness if left to her own devices, so she'll get used to it. She'll get used to it. The police officer abduction and murder case is about to conclude with Hanako Kobayashi being declared the perpetrator. Considering everything we've seen so far, there could be some facts that are still uncovered. Delving deeper into this incident could unearth some clues that will lead to solving X-Day.
それも大事だけど、真実に近づけば、お前の首輪も外してやれる。
Ah. Reflexively, I put my hand to my neck and Mineo smiled at me.
大事な奴の命がアドニスに握られてるなんて、俺も気分良くねえしな。
Someone important. He had called me his partner up until now many times. That gesture alone was enough to make me feel special.
なんだよ、イチカ。急に黙り込んで。心配しなくても大丈夫だって。絶対にお前を自由にしてやる。その。
Yes. I nodded in response, but I suddenly felt too embarrassed to look at Mineo's face. You decided to jump into putting her in it because she bolted outside 2 days in a row? Oh my gosh! She snuck out? Like, as you were leaving for class or something? Was she pretty easy to catch? I informed Mochita of the situation and got out of work during my shift. I went over to the reception desk to meet Mineo there.
佐竹さん、ご心配おかけしました。
I happened to stumble across Mineo bowing to Satake.
おいおい。
You can only assume she wanted to be naughty. Yup, she was being our little Evangeline.
自力で何とかすると思ってたからな。
At least she was pretty easy to catch. She just wanted to get a taste of that freedom. She's like, I want this, I'm going for it. Oh, but I guess I'll let you catch me.
まあなんだ。ここを辞めるときは正気がない顔してたけどよ。昔のお前に戻ったのはお嬢ちゃんのおかげか？
そうっすね。一花の存在は大きいです。
Now that she's actually been given the freedom, she's like, wait, really? Exactly, exactly. And you're like, yes, Furchild, you get this freedom with some limitation for your safety. You get to go outside, but you get to go outside on my terms, which means you get to wear this harness so that you are safe and I can better make sure that you don't go where you are not supposed to go.
それに、もう相棒ってだけじゃない。俺、 あいつのこと。
ああ、お嬢ちゃん。なんだ、もう来てたのか。
Yes.
お前、いつからそこにいたんだよ。もう少しで心臓止まるところだったぞ。
I'm sorry. I was waiting for the right moment.
はは、ういういしくていいね。二人がそうやって並んでるのを見てると、息子が嫁を連れてきた時の心境っつうのかね、微笑ましい気持ちにさせられるね。
Sataki!
何言ってんすか、佐竹さん。
Yeah, we're just partners and not lovers or anything like that.
そうなのか。Enomotoが名前で呼んでたからてっきりそうなったと思ってたんだがな。
まだそんなんじゃねえよ。
おお、まだね。すまんすまん、ちょっとからかいすぎた。お似合いなもんだからついね。
ったく、佐竹さんにはいろいろ世話になりっぱなしだし、今日は礼言わなきゃって思ってたのに。
まあそうむくれるなって。俺もお前が顔を見せてくれて嬉しかったんだよ。年がいもなく浮かれちまってな。だからちょっとばかし口が滑っちまったんだ。
これからはなるべく顔見せに来ます。
うんと、面会時間も限られてっからな。行くなら急げよ。
へいへい、じゃあ行くぞ。
Yes, Sataki, we'll be going now.
榎本のこと頼むな。
Yes. While we headed off to the cells, Mineo became awkwardly quiet. Maybe it's like when he talked with Ishiki and he's feeling nervous. Sataki must have noticed that and tried to reduce his tension. All things considered, it's highly likely that Tomoki Ogata is affiliated with Adonis. We'd be separated by glass, but still, I was sure he was having trouble staying calm. I don't want Mineo to be hurt anymore. I want him to be happy. When he's in pain, I feel pain myself. Do I feel this way because we're partners, or... Once we arrived at the jail cells, we waited at the visitation room for Ogata. Soon, a worker there brought Ogata out to see us. We introduced ourselves and he eyed us curiously.
警察の方と元警察の方、あとは裁判の結果を待つだけだというのに、この後に及んで往生際が悪いのでは。
His mocking words and tone indicated he was pretty sure he'd be found innocent. The reason why we requested a visit is because we wanted to speak with you in person.
事件のことなら散々話しました。もっとも、警察は私の言い分を信じていないのでしょうが。何せ私は、警察官拉致殺害事件の筆頭容疑者です。まあ、それも誤認逮捕の取り調べで警察が自首を強要したせいですがね。
Mineo took a deep breath next to me.
あなたが警察に不信感を抱くのは当然のことだと思います。2年前の件は警察の体制とあなたを誤認逮捕した藤井に非があります。
警察を辞めたあなたに言われたところで何が変わるわけでもないでしょう。
確かにあなたが失ったものを取り戻すことはできません。けど俺は警察にいた頃、藤井を先輩として慕っていました。これはただの自己満足ですし、あなたを不快にさせるだけかもしれません。それでも
Mineo stands up and looks straight ahead.
亡くなった藤井に代わり謝らせてください。
He quietly stared at Mineo, who was still bowing.
あなたに謝ってもらったところで無意味です。すべ
Ogata's declaration was emotionless and cold. The past.
ええ、私にとっても嫌な記憶ですから。もう忘れ去った過去です。蒸し返されて私としても迷惑しているんですよ。あらぬ噂が出るたびに仕事も変えなくてはなりませんから。
Ishiki accepts the wrongful arrest, but he hasn't forgotten about it. There's no way he'd be content leaving his forced confession in the past. Mineo studied Ogata's reaction, probably thinking the same thing I was.
あなたにとって辛い過去を掘り返すような真似をしてすみません。でも俺たちは知らなきゃいけないんです。警察という組織が自分が正義だと思っていたものがもたらしたもの。だから少しだけ話を聞かせてください。尾形さんは5人逮捕されたことで家族を失い仕事も辞めることになりましたよね。きっかけを作った藤井を許せないのは当然です。そしてその怒りが簡単に収まるとは思えない。
だからといって彼を恨んだところで私の人生が好転するわけではないでしょう。それに彼はもうこの世にいない。そんな人物を恨むほど不毛なことはありません。
My first impression was that he'd been caught up in the past like Ishiki was. But this is something different.
あなた方も私を疑っているのでしょうが、海外旅行に行っていた私に犯行は不可能です。それに5月の事件の実行犯は捕まったはず。そうで。
Yes.
でしたら、これ以上の問答に意味などありません。私は失礼して。
待ってください。俺たちは藤井殺害に関してあなたを疑ってるわけじゃありません。俺たちが知りたいのは7月の事件についてです。
それこそ話すことなどありません。私の立場を理解していますか？まさにその事件で起訴されているんですよ。
あなたは菅原理香を助けるためにストーカー男性を殺してしまった。あなたと菅原に面識がないことやストーカー男性の精神状態を鑑みて正当防衛であると有力視されてる。けど菅原じゃない別の人間に指示されてやった可
Good
能性
morning,
はありますよ。
Vocal Duck. How you doing? How you doing? It's good to see ya.
別の人
アドニスです。一連の X デイ事件が交換殺人ならあなたと菅原の間に面識は必要ない。5月の実行犯は小林花子。動機は一色康弘のためとされていますが結果的にはあなたの復讐も果たされた。その代わりに7月菅原が恨む人間をあなたが殺害する。これで互いの利害が一致します。
So essentially, we are trying to solve murders. We are basically working alongside this former officer, Mineo Enomoto, as we basically have been targeted by the terrorist group known as Adonis, who is trying to purge the evil from Japan to make Japan its idea of paradise. And we found out that they are using basically substitution murders, I guess, is the best way. So basically somebody who would, like, for example, in this first case, this guy was falsely arrested, the guy in the white shirt here with the white hair. and he was falsely arrested by one of the victims. Somebody else, who was also falsely arrested by that same victim, was also a famous singer that this person who ended up killing the person who falsely arrested this guy and the famous musician ended up killing said officer, and they all suspected at first that it was this guy because he would have also hated the officer that falsely arrested him. But he, in July, killed the stalker of this person, Sugawara, and so thereby killing somebody that she would have hated. And so it's like this almost domino effect. Would you agree with that, Soul? It's kind of like a domino effect of substitutionary revenge, I guess.
それはあなたの妄想でしかない。そこまでして私を犯人にしたいんですか？アドニスとの関与は当然疑われています。私が誤って殺してしまった男性の自宅からコインが見つかったというそれだけの理由で。
So he could have been used by Adonis. But that doesn't mean necessarily that he is part of Adonis.
正当防衛は明らかなのに、ここまで裁判が長引いているのはそのせいです。これは脅迫ですか？下手をすればそちらが訴えられますよ。
We're not accusing, we're trying to understand. There's a difference. He was correct. He absolutely could try and sue us for libel over an accusation. But unless we took some risks, we wouldn't be able to get the truth out of him. We're just talking about the what-ifs. We just want to know your thoughts on them. What if the X-Day incidents are proxy murders done by a network of people? That assumption does tie everything together.
そんなのは警察がいいように解釈しただけだ。私が無罪になるのはそんなに気に食わないのか。
crimes through substitution murders pretty often. Exactly. The only one that we haven't been able to figure out a connection to is the middle school incident. Ogata's tone of voice had gotten angrier, and he started to glare at us with hostility. I think we're getting close. But before I could act, Mineo spoke.
ずっとあんたの様子を見てたんだけどよ。どうもわざとらしいんだよな。
なんだと？
You said that the wrongful arrest is all in the past, but that's... Yep, you're guessing a high-level government official is in on it? Probably the chief of police. Bam! Mic drop! Well, that is true, but I guess what I mean is the only one that doesn't seem right now to be, from what I remember, by only one, I meant that the middle school one was the only one that doesn't seem to be a substitution at surface level. That one, I don't know about. Ooh, is it a front or a pre-planned response? He's getting angrier and angrier. He seemed calm at first, but the more they questioned him, the angrier he's getting. The more they're prodding on this, the more angry he's getting. The mask can only stay up so long before the cracks start to show. So I could see that as being a front. I don't necessarily think it's a... I don't know if it's necessarily a pre-planned response. I'm thinking he's gotta be putting on a front. because Ishiki, the other person who was falsely arrested, he's still, you know, like he's somewhat, like he's moved past it. Like he still harbors anger towards the cops and doesn't trust them. But he's not angry like this guy is. But yet it could be pre-planned because he knew that they were an officer and former officer right away. So he could have pre-planned the response, but he also wouldn't know what they were going to necessarily ask him. I'm going with putting on a front. You're just putting on a front, but you actually still care a lot about it.
なぜ私が君たちに虚勢なんて張らなければならないんだ。5人逮捕された過去を引きずってる。藤井を許せない。
Yep, that's exactly what we want to hear. Yep, deductive reasoning with Donna.
私に自白を強要した時と同じだ。やはり警察は腐ってる。この世に必要ない。
Question is, did Donna deduce wisely?
それが本心か。
Ogata looked directly at Mineo as Mineo stared him down in turn.
X レイ事件は用意周到に練られた計画的犯行だ。あんたがここにいるのも計算のうちなんじゃないか。
何よ。
あんたはストーカーから女性を守った英雄を演じてるに過ぎない。でも殺人は殺人だ。こんな形でもてはやされたとしてあんたの鬱憤は晴れるのか。
That's a good question. That's a good question.
言いがかりはやめてもらおう。そもそも証拠はあるのか。
Unlike when he first claimed innocence, Ogata now seemed somewhat nervous. At this rate, it looks like we might be able to get some useful information from him. I signaled to Mineo and he nodded slightly.
菅原をストーカーから守った事件。これには不可解な点が多いんだ。まず、面識もない女性を助けるためにナイフを持った相手に立ち向かったこと。
それのどこがおかしい。私が助けに入らなければあの女性は殺されていた。
一刻を争う状況だったにしても運が悪ければあんたが刺されていたんだぞ。
私が死んだところで悲しむ家族なんていない。だから迷うことはなかった。それだけの話だ。
その話が真実ならすげえと思う。けどこうも考えられねえか。あんたは絶対に自分が死なないと確信していた。相手は薬物を摂取したことで平衡感覚を失ってた。多少なりとも腕に覚えがあれば返り討ちにすることはできたはずだ。
私に武術の心得はない。あれは運が良かっただけで。
You stabbed him through the heart on just a lucky thrust?
ああ、そうだ。あの時は無我夢中だった。もちろん殺すつもりなどなかったが。
You stabbed between his ribs and hit his heart. That doesn't look like an accident to me. You were barely wounded in the scuffle at all. To escape a situation like that with such minor injuries shows me you knew what to do. That means that you saving Rika Sugawara was not coincidence. That whole situation was set up ahead of time. I'm gonna say it was set up ahead of time because Adonis would know. Adonis would know that because he hadn't. I'm saying it. I think it's not him waiting for the stalker to attack because he wouldn't have known the person. I would not, however, put it past Adonis to make sure that he happened to be there at an exact moment where he would see something that would make him want to exact that justice. And so that's why I think it was set up ahead of time by Adonis, and he is just a pawn in Adonis's scheme. This was an ambush, wasn't it?
バカバカしい。そんなことのために時間を割くほど私は暇じゃない。
そんなことで片付けられるようなもんだったとは思えねえけどな。
Good point, Enomoto.
一度世間から後ろ指を刺されたあんたにとってこの計画は必ず成功させる必要があった。違うか？
知ったような口を叩くな。ここで議論したところで結果はもう目に見えている。2年前の時のようにあやふやなままでは終わらない。私は法の下で無罪を勝ち取るんだ。私のやったことは罪に問われない。君たちが言ったことが真実だったとして私がやったという証拠、裏付けは取れるのか？私が計画的に犯行を起こしたとしてもそれを明るみにする根拠も証拠もなければ言いがかりをつける方が悪に。裏でどんなことをやっていようと殺人を犯して無実になれば私が正義だ。
Interesting.
人を殺しといて許されるなんてそんなのが正義なわけあるか？
では本当の正義とは何だ？警察は正義を掲げながらも私を罪人に仕立て上げた。私を糾弾するなら君たちは一体何なんだ？答えろ！
His hate-filled words make me want to flinch. But that reaction is what we originally wanted to bring out of him.
藤井優太は自分のために他人を利用した。結果、多くの人間を傷つけた。
Mineo?
誰かを利用して傷つけるのはあんたが一番嫌ったやり方じゃないのか？
Mineo closed his mouth once as if he was trying to hold something back as he glared at Ogata.
どんな言い訳したって犯罪は悪だ。もしあんたが分かってて殺人を犯したなら藤井と同じレベルになり下がったことになる。その上アドニスに加担してるなら数えきれないほどの人間を傷つけてるんだぞ。それは絶対に正義じゃない。
Mineo made a disgusted expression as a means to taunt him. I'm sure he didn't want to say that, but even if Ogata took part in the crime, it's also a fact that he's been a victim himself. Even so, we have to corner him. Ogata used the same methods as Fuji, the person that he supposedly despised. He used those means to justify his goal, and that goal is... I think his goal is to clear his name. I don't think it's necessarily vengeance against the police. Although it could be, because he still harbors such hatred towards them, which is understandable given that he was falsely arrested. But I think at the end of the day, he just wants... Yeah. Backlog is your friend. It could be vengeance against the police. Yeah, I guess yeah, I think I've changed my mind. You wanted to exact revenge on the police that wronged you in the past. Isn't that the reason why you committed that murder?
君たちに何がわかる？誰も私の気持ちなどわかりはしない。
Right? Compared to Ishiki. Exactly. Like, this guy clearly harbors a ton of hate. I think at first he wanted to clear his name, but then it became more about the hatred.
仮に私がアドニスに加担していたとして。
That's...
ストーカーは悪だ。そして私は悪から女性を守った。2年前とは違う。いや、あの5人逮捕があったからこそ、人々は私を持ち上げるだろう。何が正しいかは問題じゃない。要は正義になった者勝ちなんだ。
Even though it wasn't directly, Ogata just admitted guilt.
あんたはそれでいいのか？
おかしなことを言う。私を変えたのは君たち警察だ。私はもう先を見据えている。過去にこだわりはしない。
Sure, that's why you harbor such hatred towards them rather than letting that go.
一度夢がついえたからこそ、がむしゃらに頑張ろうと思えた。
Ishiki didn't dwell on the wrongful arrest and tried to embrace the future. Even if their words were similar, there was a definite difference between he and Ogata. Ishiki chose to continue striving towards his dreams and to sing for his fans, while Ogata decided that his future would involve getting revenge at any cost. The two of them had vastly different reactions to the same incident. One thing was obviously clear. Ogata's methods are wrong in every way. Ogata, I sympathize with your situation, but you know this isn't the right way. No matter the reasons, murder is unacceptable.
被害を受けたことがないから、そんな綺麗事が言えるんだ。ヘドが出る。
Little does he know.
常人に理解できないのは当然だ。君たちにはアドニスの目指しているものなど到底分かりはしない。
んなもん分かりたくもねえよ。藤井優太を殺してもらう代わりに面識のない人間の復讐を果たす。5人逮捕された時とは真逆の形で世間を味方につけ無罪放免になる。その一連の流れが警察に対するあんたの復讐だろ。
そう思いたければどうぞご勝手に。何が正義かは法と民意が決めてくれる。
裁判の結果が無罪だろうが 世間がお前の味方につこうが、そんなのは関係ない。俺は正義を語るお前を追い続ける。
Enomoto, calmate, calmate.
そういえば藤井優太の遺体を見つけたのは機動捜査隊員だったと聞いたことがあるな。あれは
ああ、
なるほど。その執念深さにも納得がいく。しかし私としても疑われたままなのは心外だ。12月16日の18時、X デー事件の始まりの場所。そこでなら真実を話してもいい。
What is this? Is this some kind of trap? Or is he actually serious? Before we figured out what his intentions were, he stood up from his seat.
では再び会えるのを楽しみにしているよ。
He flashes a calm smile and leaves. I can't tell what Ogata's intentions are, but I've got a bad feeling about this. So do I, Ichika, so do I. July update has been added to materials. And I think that is a good spot to save. And we're going to take a few minutes and just catch up. Take the last few minutes. Evie has touched grass. So proud of her. Go, Evie, go! Go, Evie, go! Go, Evie, go! Go, Evie, go! So, we are unfortunately going to have to take next week most likely off. If I'm able to, after getting set up for the festival that I'm going to on Saturday, I know Saturday is not going to be a stream, but we're setting up on Friday. If I'm able to, after getting all of that set up, then I will stream. But most likely next week is going to be taken off of streaming. And then I will extend Spooktober a week to November 7th and 8th. So that way we get a full month of content. We get a full month, and it'll be awesome. Alright, I need to snooze this ad break. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be super fun. It is a local festival celebrating a certain country's heritage that I am descended from. And so Mom and I are going to have a booth there. And so we're getting set up for that on Friday during the day. And then depending on how much time we have after that, I can try and squeeze a stream in. Otherwise, it'll be, I know Saturday is the festival itself, and then I have a church event. And so that's going to be pretty much all my Saturday. So I hope that you guys have a fantastic week and a fantastic couple of weeks. And so keep an eye on the Discord and other social media to make sure that you don't miss anything. I'm going to take a look and see who is online right now. And we're going to see who we can raid to. That is true, you do have class. So I think what we'll do is we'll just say I'm taking all of next week off. I think that's what we'll do. Are you guys feeling a chill fish stream? Because I'm thinking we just might raid in to Aquarium TTV, which is Pastor Dustin's fish tank. So I think that might be where we go. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. And then we'll go from there. So if you guys have any other recommendations, I think once we finish Spooktober, I think we're going to try doing finishing our playthrough of Indiana Jones on Fridays, and then going back and doing Simulator Saturdays. I think that's what we're going to try and do, and until I get caught up to where I am on my sweater, because I still cannot get the, I'm going to have to start all over because I was trying to get the slip stitches out and it was not working. So I'm going to have to start all over. And so once I get there, then we can do Sweater Saturdays. And until then, we'll be doing Simulator Saturdays. And it'll be a fun thing, I think. So let's go ahead. And I'm going to get these raid calls. If you are subbed, this is your raid message. If you are not subbed, there is your raid message. And in the meantime, you guys have a fantastic couple of weeks as we take some time to just enjoy the fall weather, as we take time to focus on the creation that God made. And always remember that God loves you, and so do I.